you're going to see the boogeyman. You're going to see him break. You're going to see him break in there. And then realize there's only one boogeyman, and that's me.
It's a great pleasure and honor. For the first time in a very, very long time, I think maybe, oh dear, maybe 2.5 years, the last time we've had this man on the program via Zoom. We did have the phone call while he was on vacation, which we appreciated very, very much, but this is a little more special than that because it's via video communication. He is the reigning defending UFC middleweight champion. He defends his title in exactly 10 days from now at the United Center against the big bad Khamzat Chimaev. He's the pride of South Africa. He's the one and only Dricus du Plessis on the program. Hey, there he is. Hello, Dricus.
What's up?
How are you? How are you?
Good to be back.
It's good to be back.
I am great, man. Chicago has been treating me very, very well. Yeah, it's been amazing. Feeling great. Yeah, it's good.
I got to be honest with you. You've been everywhere. I saw you throwing out the first pitch. I saw you at the Man U game. What about that first pitch? Because we've seen a lot of celebrities kind of mess up on the mound. It seemed like you were pretty comfortable there. And you know what? What first was drawn to me? You stood at the top of the mound. A lot of people go where the grass kind of ends there to make it a little easier, but you went for the hardest point.
Yeah, I mean, it was everybody was asking me, am I nervous? I've never thrown a baseball in my life. We don't have that sport in South Africa, but I've played some cricket and played some sports. I like sports, so I'm not the best guy with the ball in hand, but when I went on there, everybody asked me if I was nervous, how am I feeling. I said, well, I'm going to ace it. What do you mean? But it's a lot further than you would think.
Yes.
You throw that. I mean, what's like just over 60 feet.
Yeah.
Like I Googled it, and we work in meters, and I realized that's a far throw. And they gave me the option. They said, you can stand in front of it. And I said, well, that seems like teeing off from the ladies' tee in golf. And if you screw it up then it's even worse. So I just went for the full proper way doing it, and well, at least I didn't bounce it, and at least it didn't go haywire. So I watched some people that screwed it up very badly.
Yes.
So it's better than that. But it was one of the coolest things I've ever done. It was really a highlight for me in things that I've done. Outside of the sport, it was insane. My first baseball game I've ever watched live.
Wow.
And it was incredible. I am definitely now a baseball fan. I'm actually booking to go watch a game directly after the fight again.
Wow. And did you understand the rules? It's a little complicated if you're not so up to speed.
No, not at all. We have softball in South Africa.
Ah, got it. Okay. Yep.
So, I mean, it's not on the same level, but softball, it has the same rules.
Of course.
So I understand the rules, yes.
And that was that's one of the most famous and historic stadiums in the history of the sport. You know that, right? Wrigley Field. It's a big deal.
They said the stadium were alongside with Boston.
Yes,
is the only neighborhood stadiums, and that's special. And you can see the whole vibe in that stadium. It was incredible. Well, the whole of Chicago, I have to say, one of the favorite places I've been in America has been Chicago. It's I'm not a big city guy. I'm very used to nature, and even though I live in the city, the farm is 25 minutes drive away. But this is city as far as you can see, and I've been pleasantly surprised with Chicago.
First time there?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And it seems like you came out early to get acclimated. Do you feel like by now are you acclimated to the time zone and all that, or does that take more?
Yeah, 100%. It takes me like, I would say, because it's 7 hours, so it takes like 7 days to really for your body to get used to it. But for me, sleep-wise, it took me like 4 days to really, go to sleep at the time I want to and wake up the time I want to. And I mean, I feel amazing. I've been here for well over a week, and almost 10 days that I've been here. And I came out 3 weeks earlier. I always do that. I like to know where everything is. I don't like to get here and fight close to the fight and don't have the gym yet. I have to figure things out. I like to be as comfortable as I can be when I get to the fight. So that's the recipe that's been working for me. You don't want to be worrying about travel, your weight when you travel. I'm settled in. I feel comfortable. I know where the gym is. I know where everything is. I know where the United Center is. I've been there, so I feel at home. It's going to be special. I mean, I was in the United Center yesterday. The history of that place. Even though I don't know a lot about basketball, Michael Jordan is one of my sporting heroes. I have watched so many things, read so many books on his mindset and how he approaches things. He is incredible. And being in that stadium where the statue of him saying, the greatest there ever was and the greatest there will ever be, that's goals. That's a goal for any athlete.
And so, one of the big sort of talking points over the last couple of years regarding your opponent, Khamzat Chimaev, was, oh, he can't fight in the United States. And we never really got any sort of confirmation if this was a real thing. Were you at all, when it became clear that Khamzat was going to be next, it became very clear, after your title defense, was there any worry that this fight would have to only be in a particular part of the world, or was that just something that people were talking about online?
Ariel, I'm going to be super honest with you. When before this fight was made, I'm assuming the UFC got away for him or his team. I don't know. Somebody figured out that he can get into the US before announcing the fight for sure, and before letting me know that we are fighting. So my request was, I asked the UFC, and I begged them actually. I want to fight him either in Abu Dhabi, fight him in his neck of the woods, like I have been doing with so many other opponents. And I've grown quite fond of that. So that's what I want to do. I want to fight Abu Dhabi, Saudi, or any of that region, anywhere in that region, fighting there in front of his own crowd, his people. And they said they want to do Chicago. They let me know a couple of weeks later, okay, they're going to do Chicago. And I thought, well, great. It's a place I haven't seen. It's great. And, for me, it really makes no difference where the fight is, to be honest.
Okay. Although, just a couple of weeks ago, we saw the PFL make its debut in South Africa, and it was like the kind, with all due respect to the EFCs of the world and whatnot, this felt like the first major event in South Africa. For you to be fighting so close to that date and seeing that, and I know a DDP fight in South Africa would be monumental compared to that, a much bigger deal. Was there any part of you that was like, man, at some point I need that, I have to have that, I have to experience that?
100%. I think you didn't mean it with any disrespect, but I do think in that the EFC is something that a lot of people are overlooking because they are a feeding ground to all these organizations, whether it be UAE, Brave, PFL, all these other organizations. Yeah, I went to KSW, but the show and the production value of the EFC is world class. So it was so cool because all the fighters that fought in PFL was EFC signed fighters. To see these countrymen, my fellow countrymen, guys that fight on the same league in EFC where I started my career, and the EFC was my road to the UFC and becoming world champ. Seeing these guys get that opportunity through PFL is amazing. Getting the opportunity to fight on a big stage, fighting in a big league like PFL, and seeing how excited South Africa was to see PFL. If 2 years ago PFL could have been as big as it is now, no, 5 years ago, they wouldn't have sold 100 tickets. Nobody knew. There was EFC because it was the local brand, started in 2008, and your diehard fans would go watch EFC. But it wasn't a mainstream sport. Now, MMA in South Africa is a mainstream sport. People want more and more and more. So that is, for me, exciting because I feel I played a role in making people more aware of the sport. And now all these guys that are coming through, getting wins on the PFL. My teammate, Justin Clark, he got a first-round finish in PFL. Now, and I mean, that means that we have so much talent. We had in Corsi, who's an incredible fighter from South Africa. He's not from my team, but there's so much talent there, and now they're getting that exposure. So overall, I want MMA to win. I want the whole world to love the sport as much as I do, and the whole of South Africa is getting to that page where they just love it. So just to see how more people are getting the opportunity to become world champions, more people are getting the opportunity to really make it in the sport of MMA is incredible. When for the PFL to come to South Africa, people saw Khabib in South Africa. People went absolutely crazy. It was incredible. I mean, I was totally bummed that I couldn't be there because I had to travel for this fight. But it's amazing.
Your fight on August 16th is one of the most anticipated of the year. The guys in the back, the boys in the back, the producers of the show, They say it's their most anticipated fight of the year, certainly New York Ricks, and it's warranted, and I think it's for several reasons. You have gained this momentum as a champion, and also it's Khamzat's first title fight. And I think the easy question to ask you is, how do you feel about being the underdog? I feel like everyone asks you that. But I am getting the sense, and I want to know if you feel the same, that you are finally starting to get the respect that you deserve as champion, where people are starting to say, like, oh, you know what? If this goes past the first or second, it's DDP. Like, if you looked into a crystal ball and you know the outcome of the fight, and it's a fight that was won in the championship rounds or via decision, DDP won this fight, as opposed to maybe a year ago where it's like, oh, Khamzat's just going to steamroll through whomever is the champion. Are you starting to feel that as well? Are you starting to feel like people are finally giving you that respect?
Well, let me tell you this. I mean, you just spoke about 2 years ago that said you would steamroll me. That just shows you how MMA works. You know, it's one day you're the hero, one day you're the zero. That's how it is. People, you know, 2 years ago, and before the nose surgery and all that whole thing happened, do you think anybody would have ever said after the first round, Dricus has a chance? No, it
Right.
was literally the opposite. It was after round one, Dricus is done. That's what they said with Strickland. First time, that's what they said with Whitaker. That's what they said. And now it's almost I'm getting praise for my championship round performances. So, I mean, there's two things you can take away from that, that people just change their opinions the whole time. And then, of course, it shows that I'm ever evolving because, there was a problem, we fixed that problem, and now that problem has become my strength. The weakness of after round one became my strength. And, a fight like this I've been getting so much respect. I don't care what people say in terms of because he's not a good champion. I don't, at the end of the day, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I've defended the belt twice. I'm going to do it now for a third time. Every fight I have is exciting. That is a fact. There is no boring fights. I've never had one, never going to have one. And then, of course, the resume, the people I have fought. I have fought, before about a month ago, I fought everybody in the top five. At that stage, everybody except for Imamov. And that's the resume. I mean, that's what I want. I want to fight the best guys. That's why I wanted this Khamzat fight so badly. So yes, absolutely, I've been getting a lot more respect from more people because I've proven that say what you will, I'm winning, and my style has proven to be effective. Not for everyone. Yes, controversial. Yes, it is awkward, but that's on purpose, and that's why I am the champion of the world. So. Yeah, I am the underdog, but when it comes to respect, I only care about the respect of a very small group of people. That's my country, my family, my team, and the people that believe in me. Those who don't believe in me, do it at your own peril. I don't really care. It's I've walked into many stadiums with boos and I've walked out with cheers, so that will happen once again.
You mentioned the awkwardness on purpose. That's really interesting because I don't know if people give you that credit. I think they just say you're awkward, period. But that's something you do on purpose?
100%. It's awkward to the people because it's something that they've never seen. So anything that somebody does that's different is going to be awkward because how do you defend that? When I say it is on purpose, I do things in a way that me and my coaches have been training for 12 years because we look at fights and we think this is the way they do it. I think this is a better way to do it. Let's try it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's about doing something. If you just throw your strikes like everybody else, you're going to find a striker that's going to be able to figure that out. And they've seen it a million times in their gyms, in fights, and that is why it is not really awkward. It's just different. But I mean, we as humans are very suspect of new things. We don't like change that much. So, I mean, and once again, I said it a couple of years ago. People were only critiquing my style, and they always have been. But while they are critiquing, they should be taking notes because they are going to fall behind, and then they're going to play catch up. And that's exactly what happened. And now all of a sudden, there's a lot of people that say, oh, but look at this. He's doing this right. He's doing this right. Where in the beginning it was, this is terrible. This is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. Now people are actually going and looking at the style and saying, this is actually very effective. What he's doing here, and then again, I'm not fighting at perfect. I'm fighting at a 6 out of 10 here. I'm still far away from giving the performance that I know I can. I'm far away of being the striker that I know I can be, the wrestler and the grappler. When you get into fights because of situations, the fighter that I know I can be, how I can strike, it's difficult to do it in a fight. But as my career goes, the Dricus that made his debut versus Dricus that fought the last time is two very different people, and I keep evolving and getting better, and that's why I feel I'm chasing the perfect round, the perfect fight, doing everything to perfection in a fight. I think it's impossible, but it's worth chasing.
A couple of months ago, Nasruddin Imavov said that he was going to be the backup fighter for this fight. Now, in the end, I don't actually think he is because he's fighting in September. Am I wrong about that? That's a side question. The main reason I bring this up is, and you could address that if you know the answer, but your response was, I guess I'm fighting Nasruddin Imavov, sort of implying that, Khamzat isn't going to make the walk. Do you still feel that way 10 days out, or were you just sort of messing with him?
Actually, yeah, I was only messing with him. To be honest with you, I didn't even think about it once. I didn't think about, is he going to make the fight? I didn't care. It wasn't about that. It never. I can only worry about the things I can control. So if I'm going to do a fight camp where I'm constantly worried, is this guy going to show up? Once you get to that dark place, am I going to do the extra session? Am I going to wake up earlier? And am I going to put myself through absolute hell? When you start doubting if your opponent's going to show up, you're going to start, backing off. I don't operate like that. I prepared for the date. I didn't prepare for the opponent.
What about these tweets, though? I mean, some of these tweets are lethal, my friend. I mean, back in March, you tweet, between Khamzat and Shara, there are only three senses: touch, smell, and
Well, that
sound.
is the truth.
And then Bilal loses, and you write essentially like, "Great job, well done, JK." Like seconds after he loses. This is menace
Yeah,
type
I
stuff.
was watching. I was watching the fight to see him lose. That was literally it. I think he's an absolute asshole. So, um, I was really happy to see that. So that's why I made the tweet. I was that tweet was ready before the fight started. I had that tweet ready. It was
You
basically
knew.
just copy paste go boom.
You had no doubt he was going to lose.
Well, call it hope, call it doubt. No doubt, it was one of those two.
And
But
what?
let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. It seems like I'm just going for these guys. I've never been disrespectful to anybody that's been respectful to me. Bilal had a lot to say about me, about the middleweight division. Couldn't even keep the belt in his own. Couldn't even defend it once. Took a whole year to defend the belt. Did a terrible job at that, and he had so much to say. So that's why he got what he. That's why I gave him shit. And obviously with Sarah, he talked shit. He said he would like to see me lose, and he doesn't like to see anything. So that's why I went after him, and that's it. I'll respect you. You respect me. If you want it, if you want the smoke, I'll give it. That's how it is. And if you don't want, I have enough friends. If you don't want to be my friend, keep your mouth shut. I will come for you. It's mutual respect. That's how it always is with me. I've never been disrespectful to anybody that's been respectful to me. But if you want to come and try and bully me, try and talk about the thing that I dedicate my life to, so I'm bad at that, I will come for you.
And by the way, I think it's incredibly entertaining. I think it has gained more fans in your favor. In addition to that, the one video, and I'd love to ask the origin of it. When you're putting on the suit, like you look like a character. This one right here. What is the origin of this one? Like, because this is like straight out
Oh,
of a
it's
movie.
actually crazy. This was my second fight. It was like UFC 260, 56. It was Connor and Poirier, and they had that 360
Yeah,
camera, and it was after my fight, and they wanted me to do that.
and I see that one being recycled everywhere.
Yeah, it's almost like the villain. That's the
Yes.
villain.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I love it.
You
I
love
look
it.
good.
I mean, some people embrace being the villain. Would you prefer you prefer being the
Oh,
bad
no,
guy?
no, 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 no. I don't think I don't. I'm not. I don't have a villain. I don't think I'm the villain. I don't think so. I think it's. Yeah, I don't have the villain. That's not me. I don't think so. I think what I am is witty and quick with it. I don't think I'm a villain. It's Yeah, I
I
don't
think it
have
has
what it
given
takes
you
to
an
win.
edge. I think it is. I understand what you're trying to say. You're not saying that you're a bad guy, but when you come back with these witty responses and stuff,
Yeah, even in terms of when it comes to picking a persona, like I've never tried to do that. I've never tried to pick a persona. Like, I mean, if you take a guy like Colby Covington, one of the nicest guys ever, and you look at the persona, I don't have the stomach for that. I am just Dricus when I am there. So, I treat it like I would treat it when I speak to my friends. If you try to come at me, the banter is on. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But on the mic, I'm on fire. I'm ready to go. And if it's all respect, then it is. Sometimes it can be just a fight. I don't do fake beef, never have, never will. After a fight, I will respect any person, even if I don't like them. Even if I despise you as a person, once you've shared that octagon with me, I have to respect you because I know what it takes to get in there. So I have respect for each and every single fighter. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Every single guy that steps in there deserves respect. But some people I just don't like as
yeah.
a person, and that's totally fine because some people don't like me as a person. That is completely fine.
Does Khamzat fall into that category?
I don't know Hamzat on a personal level. But there are things I've seen, not crazy about it, but
Like what?
you never know. The whole attitude around it, missing weight
Hmm.
and just rubbing it off, and just going about it as if there was nothing wrong. You know, says I don't care about weight. Of course you have to care about weight. I don't. If I don't care about weight, I'm going to fight at heavyweight. So that's great. That's not how the game works. I feel um, up until this point, that is what I've seen, and of course, talking down to every single fight that is not his. That's what I'm talking about. That's where the in fight him and Gilbert Burns. I know Gilbert Burns on a personal level. Gilbert Burns, great fighter, an amazing person. The in fights, slapping him in after the bow, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like.
Is he overrated in your opinion?
No, I
He's
think he's
he's worthy of all the
perfectly
praise. He's worthy of all the
yeah,
praise and everything that he receives.
absolutely. I think Hamzat is a special fighter.
As far as the Whitaker fight, the last time we saw him, to me, that was the reminder that he is still a special fighter. There was maybe a narrative or some people who thought, like, okay, maybe we've seen the best of him. Maybe the sickness got to him. Maybe he's not as good as he first appeared. Whatever. The Gilbert Burns fight, he goes the distance. The Usman fight was a bit surprising. Was that the one where you also said, okay, no, this guy is back or legit, or you always believed? You never doubted?
No, from the first time I saw him fight, I knew this guy was going to be special. 100%. I knew he was going to be special. There was a stage where he didn't fight for like 2 years or something. And listen, he speaks a lot more than he fights. I can tell you that much too. But there was a long period of time he was calling out every single person. That just started getting annoying. It was annoying the shit out of me. He was calling out welterweights, middleweights, light heavyweights, but he wasn't fighting anyone. But there was never ever a stage where I went, this guy's overrated. No, he is as good as people think. I think he's as good as people think. I just think I'm a lot better than people think.
Can I ask what happened a few months ago where it seemed like all these middleweights were saying like, "Oh, interim fight," and I'm going to step in, and then you came out eventually and said like, "There is no injury, there is no date," but it was. Do you remember this? There was all this talk online of all these guys saying like, "Let me step in, let me do this." What was that all about?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think it all started with Kyle Barral, who went like, he has a guy in my camp that said I'm injured. And I went, what? You know nobody in my camp. What do you mean? And that was firstly, and everybody just went with it. The media, that was actually a nice, good jab to the media, saying, "Listen, guys, why don't you check your sources?" And then everybody was like, "Chick is injured, out for a year." I had no injury whatsoever. I immediately saw it when it came out that Calbarao said that, and for on purpose, you'll see it was about a week where I did not comment one thing.
You just kind of let it
I left
fester.
it. I went like, go crazy. I want to see where this ends.
Yeah.
And when it was time, I already knew. Me and the UFC already spoke. That I knew that I had the fight. I already knew that this was going to happen. So I was really enjoying all the rumors. Everybody, just in, Dricus is injured. This happened. This happened. I was like, guys, that is not at all true. So then they wanted to do an interim title. An interim title, I fought 3 times in the past 12 months. I literally fought 3 months before that. Now you want to do an interim trial? Are you insane? Are you insane? That was just desperation from all the guys in the back that want to get, touch gold, even if it's just interim.
Do you believe? I know you have a fight coming up, but you did say it'll be your next title defense, so you're obviously very confident. Is the winner of the Bohalio Imavov fight next? Do you think that's the number one contender fight?
I think so. I think. Let me tell you this. I have no idea. I don't mind it. How exciting it is. But then again, I'm fighting Khamzat now, so it's a massive fight. After this fight, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the whoever fights me. That's the big fight. That's how it is. And with Kyle and Imamov, that's a brilliant fight. I do believe that's the right fight to make. And yeah, both of them after the win, easy win. I think Imamov deserves the shot. But I think if Kyle beats Imamov, they're going to make him fight a Renita Ritter.
You think so?
That's what I think. I think so.
He's the new kid on the block. Like last time we spoke, he wasn't even in the picture. Have you been impressed with him?
Yes. I think I've trained with him. I think he's a really good fighter. I think he's a good guy. Yeah, I think he's been, he's been doubted by everyone, and I think he's been doing a great job. I honestly think that if Kyle Barao beats Imamov, they are going to make him and Renita Ritter fight for number one contender.
Given that relationship,
if Imamov beats Kyle, they're going to give him the title shot because it's time.
Okay. Given that relationship and that history, would you have any issues fighting RDR if you had to?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I would fight my brother for my title if I have to. I would try to kill him. I promise you that. And he's my best friend.
So the whole teammate thing, all that doesn't work in your world.
No, it's when we get in there are no friends. There are no relationships in a fight. No, that's
and I'll let you go in a moment. And again, great to have you on. I really appreciate it. The consensus seems to be right now in the UFC, the top 3 pound for pound are Ilya, Islam, Merab. And there's a debate. Is it Islam 1? Is it Ilya 2? Is Merab? But that seems to be the consensus. You win on August 16th. Do we need to start talking about DDP? Pantoja gets love, and I think you get that love in that top 5. But as far as the top 3, maybe even number 1, you tell me, is it time that you start getting that recognition as well? Do you care about that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's not. I don't really care for it. It's great to have the recognition. I do believe Ilya is right where he deserves to be. He deserves to be at number 1. What he's been doing and how in this fashion he's been doing it, absolutely incredible. I think he's very deserving of number 1. Merab is incredible, but I think people have grown so used to Makhachev winning that they've forgotten how amazing he is. So being in that top 3 it's a tough ask. But after I beat Khamzat, what are you going to say? I mean, look at the names that I've beaten. So I mean, I'm not going to say put me at number 1, 2, or 3. I'm just going to say the names speak for themselves. The record speaks for itself. That's what it is. I mean, for me, I don't care on where I rank. At the end of the day, I'm going to be ranked at the top. When it's all said and done, I will be recognized as the greatest, and that's what I'm after. What happens in between, I don't really care.
How are you envisioning the end? How does this actually play out on the 16th?
I have to say, Khamzat, and he looks incredible in training, what I've seen and people talk about it. And if people are talking about, oh, he's training with this new coach, and great. I'm very happy for him. He did it 5 weeks out from the fight. I've been doing this my whole life. I've been fighting title fights for the past. I did it for 5, 6 years. Went to the UFC, defended my belt twice already. The hard work that he's putting in, people going, oh, he's really training hard. That's what I've been doing every single camp. Fight after fight after fight. That is, that's not new to me. People are praising him for doing what is required. That's what I feel. And I'm really happy for him. And I think he's going to come in there more prepared than ever. I know that feeling of fighting for your first title. I know he's going to come in there prepared. No doubt, I think, and like I said, he is a special fighter. He's incredibly good. But Jeez, I can't wait. This win for me is going to be this is going to be history. I am going out there and I'm going to shock the world once again. Like every other time, and everybody said it's impossible. Not this guy, not this guy. And I'm going to go out there and you're going to see the boogeyman. You're going to see him break. You're going to see him break in there. And then realize there's only one boogeyman, and that's me. In the middleweight division, there can be only one boogeyman, and that will be me.
Fucking hell. What a great promo. That was fantastic. By the way, congratulations. A slew of sponsors. I see all kinds of sponsors these days on your feed. And even this one. Is this one with Boss, by the way? What is this one right here? This is another one where you're looking dapper.
Oh, no, actually not. I mean, that's also one they played. That one.
Yes.
Just some shoes, but that was quite a while ago.
Oh my gosh.
That was a long time ago. That was even before I was champion.
Oh wow. Okay, well these are good looks.
Before I was champion.
Nox.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been amazing. The Nox hydration has been. It's a company that yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's myself and Ignite. I'm not actively involved in running Nox at all. I am the owner of Nox. I'm a part owner, but
Oh wow.
I invested in this company. And they are doing incredibly well. We are now expanding to Australia. We are in South Africa, expanding to Australia, looking to come to the United States soon. It's doing incredible. It's a hydration drink, and I can't get behind something that I don't believe in. I can't get behind anything that I wouldn't drink myself or taste shit. So when I got it, I had to get behind it. It's incredible. So I have incredible sponsors. Even Monster Energy is backing fighters from all over the world. The UFC brands like that make it possible for us to follow this dream and one day be able to send my kids to university, to school, and be able to do this full time. Any person that is involved in sponsoring any company deserves so much praise, because for them it's nothing. That's a tax deductible. For that athlete, it changes lives. If you're at the top now, you're getting all this. There was a stage where $1,000 changed my life, and for so many fighters and sports people, that is the case. So being involved with any brand is such a blessing, and it's a privilege. And then being able to go out there with Nox and get something out there with my name on it, with Ignite, a massive company that backed this product, and being able to get through that, it's amazing. And I guess all this comes from people think once you're champion, now you're champion. No, this is all this stuff that it's the accumulation of all the hard work of over the years that success draws success, and I'm really happy and blessed to have this life.
Incredible. Curve aftershave as well. Cool Way sneakers. Betway in South Africa. You're killing it, my man. Most importantly, the reigning defending UFC middleweight champion. Really appreciate this, Dricus. Thank you so much. Good luck to you. Be safe out there in Chicago. Do your thing. Good luck with the weight cut, of course, and then of course on the 16th of August, UFC 319 main event. Can't wait for it. DDP versus Khamzat Chimaev. Looking forward to it very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great.
A pleasure. There he is, the great Dricus du Plessis, kind enough to join us. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.